Bless you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Allergies kicking in today?
I don't know. That's a good question, actually. I might want to explore that.
We'll do a whole podcast on allergies.
On allergies, yeah. Well, normally when I was a kid, I would get allergies all the time, and now I just don't. I haven't had allergies in a while.
That's good.
I feel. Yeah, it is good. Overall, it's good. When did you get here? Welcome back to another episode of Psycosmos. Today we're going to be talking about Avengers Endgame. As of today, it's Thursday, the day that the movie actually comes out, at least a midnight release. What is today, the 25th? 25th, yeah, so today's Thursday, April 25th.
This day in history probably marks the day when theaters will be completely filled.
Swamped. Absolutely swamped.
Yep.
I know internationally it's already killing the box office, so...
Wow.
Yeah, so, and not only that, but we're not even going to be able to see it for a while because all the tickets in the area have been sold out pretty much throughout the entire weekend. So this is going to be a phenomenal film, hyping it up. Everybody naturally is going to see this movie if you've seen any of the other 10 movies preceding this. As Dan said, this is going to be film history because when you think about it, this has been a culmination over 10 years leading up to just this movie, just this one moment. And it's a 3-hour movie, or somewhere around there. Somewhere around 3 hours.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to actually discuss the... I keep doing that. I can't do that. We're going to discuss the... I guess not really spoilers, but the plot. So we're spoiling ourselves.
Yeah.
For entertainment for you people. Now, Dan, I have to inform you. I've already been woke. I've been enlightened in that sense. I've already read the spoilers. I did it just about an hour ago.
Okay.
So I'm going to read them to you. These are straight off of Wikipedia. All right. So more than likely,
this is not speculation. This is
this is straight off of Wikipedia.
What's happening
under the plot section? You know how you could go onto Wiki and you can see the plot of movies.
Oh, okay.
So I'm reading it straight off of there.
Thanks, Wikipedia.
Thanks, Wikipedia.
Sponsor us.
Yeah. See. Love it. All right. So there are a couple groups of text. So I'm going to just kind of blitz through one, and then I kind of want to gauge your reaction.
Okay.
I'll try to make this like a nice quick one. You know what I mean?
Sure.
10, 15 minutes. So, Avengers Endgame. Dun, 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 dun.
Right to the ending.
Right to the ending. Right to the ending. Everyone's dead. Okay, so 3 weeks.
Sounds like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Endgame of Thrones. Okay. All right, so ready? We're jumping into it.
Go for it. Let's hear. What's going on?
What's going on? Okay, so as you remember from the last one, and then everybody's dead. So this is where we pick up with this film. 3 weeks after Thanos uses the Infinity Stones to kill half of all life across the universe, Carol Danvers, which is Captain Marvel, Brie Larson plays Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, rescues Nebula and Tony Stark from deep space. Because as you remember, Nebula and Tony Stark were left on that planet.
Yes.
They joined Natasha, Bruce Banner. So they joined Black Widow, Hulk, Captain America, Rocket Raccoon, Thor, Pepper Potts, and James Rhodes, which is the War Machine, back on Earth. So they all come back to Earth. And then the group finds Thanos so that they can take the Infinity Stones and reverse his actions, but he has already destroyed them to prevent further use. Thor decapitates Thanos. That's the first bulk text.
Of this, that's all the text that's there? No,
probably the first half hour of the movie.
He decapitates Thanos.
Kills him.
Wow.
Yep. But everybody in the universe is still dead. So this is where the movie continues. But what do you think?
Wow. I don't know what to think. I guess you're not just gonna have Thanatos dead that early in the film. Oh my god, Thanos.
I know, yeah, we've been playing
check out our soon-to-come Smite video.
We've been playing too much Smite.
So Thanos is not gonna... I don't think Thanos is gonna be killed off in the first half hour of the film. If he is, he's definitely coming back in one way or another, because they might... here's what I'm predicting based on this. Okay. They might have to go back in time and go through the whole thing again, the whole chain of events again, and do something like that where he gets brought back to life, but then they stop him once again from getting the stones, and something along those.
Pretty close. Pretty close. I mean, every entire speculative theory has been based around time travel, and that's where we're headed. So,
all right.
5 years after that, 5 years after they kill Thanos, Ant-Man escapes from the quantum realm. Did you see Ant-Man and the Wasp?
I'm halfway through it.
Really?
I am halfway through it.
Well, spoiler alert, the end scene, after, the post-credit scene.
Sure.
He gets sucked into the quantum realm, and he goes in there. He doesn't get sucked into it. He goes in there, but then Thanos snapped, and Hank Pym, the guy who made the Pym particle, which lets him shrink and grow.
Okay.
He can't bring him back because he was on the other end of the machine. So Thanos snaps literally as soon as Ant-Man goes into the quantum realm, and then everybody on the other end who could bring Ant-Man back doesn't work.
Okay.
So
it would make sense because the quantum realm is a different dimension, right?
Essentially, it's like the microverse.
Thanatos, or oh god, I said it again.
Know, right?
Thanos, it's too easy. Thanos has, I'm assuming, no control over that realm.
I mean, he probably does.
Maybe he's just not
at this point
thinking
he's dead.
About it.
At this point he's dead. I mean, so there's really not. I mean, he can't control anything. He's dead. So he escapes from the quantum realm and he finds Black Widow and Captain America at the Avengers compound. Hours have passed for Lang instead of years, so he's been in the quantum realm for only a few hours, 5 years later. You know what I mean? And so he theorizes that the quantum realm might be able to allow them to time travel. So all three of them propose to Tony Stark, who's now raising a daughter, Morgan, with Pepper, which we saw that one coming because in the first movie he tells Pepper he's going on a run.
Yes,
and he's like, yeah, I had a dream where you were pregnant. Well, apparently she was pregnant. So they have a daughter, and they communicate. If they retrieve the Infinity Stones from the past and they use them to revert Thanos' snap, it might save everybody. So at first Tony Stark says, no, I don't want to do that because he's afraid of losing his daughter. But then he remembers Peter Parker and how he died in his arms practically. And so he says, okay, let's do it. And they devise suits to be able to go and time travel. Black Widow finds Hawkeye, Clint, but he's in Japan and he's become a Yakuza ruthless vigilante in his grief because he lost his family during the snap. His entire family got wiped out in the snap. So then Hawkeye goes back to the compound and then they start building up to go back in time. What do you think about that so far?
Interesting. So, Jeremy Renner's character Hawkeye, he goes and becomes a samurai ninja?
Not a samurai, a Yakuza
member. Yakuza member?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
okay.
Member of the Japanese mafia, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about all that. That's a lot.
We know in the comic books he does, and he adopts the name Ronin.
Okay.
Ronin obviously is a word meaning a samurai without a shogun, or a samurai without a leader.
Sure.
Essentially, so he's just a skilled warrior.
I'm super interested though in the time suits.
Okay.
That's made by Iron Man and
Presumably, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
So anything else on that bit?
No.
Okay.
No.
The reunited Avengers split into groups for their mission. Captain America, Hulk, Ant-Man, and Tony, Iron Man, all go back to when Loki tried to take over New York City in 2012, so they can obtain the Tesseract, but also the Time Stone is in New York City with Doctor Strange.
Yes.
So Hulk visits the Sanctum, where the Time Stone is, and convinces the Ancient One, which is the bald woman in the Doctor Strange film.
The gold one?
The gold?
No. I'm thinking of
the green one. The green
stone.
One.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange's stone. So he goes and he visits her, and she warns him of the consequences of taking the Infinity Stones from the past. But Hulk says, "Don't worry, we're going to return them." Captain America overcomes one of the Hydra agents who had the Mind Stone. However, Ant-Man and Iron Man are not able to get the Space Stone from Loki. So instead what they do is they only have one option, which is to go back forward in time. But then I guess they all theorized together, what if we went back even further and we went to where the Space Stone is being held, which is where the Pym particles are also located, which is the U.S. Army Camp Lehigh. So they go back in time to 1970, where they were running experiments on the Space Stone.
Okay.
And they get more particles so that they can travel more in time.
So they're constructing a means of time, or they're constructing another means of time travel. But
they ran out. There was only enough particles to go back, get all three of those stones, and then go back forward.
Okay.
But instead, they failed in getting one of the stones. So instead of going back forward, they decide, why don't we go back even further and we go to where we know the stone and more particles to time travel are going to be. And so they do that.
Okay.
And they are able to, I guess, retrieve the space stone through those means. Additionally, there's more. There's a lot more. Rocket Raccoon and Thor travel to Asgard, and they receive the Reality Stone, which is from the movie Thor 2: Dark Worlds or something along those lines.
That sounds awesome. Just Rocket Raccoon and Thor going back to Asgard.
And Thor also brings back an older version of Mjolnir, so now he has 2 weapons.
Oh, okay.
So he's double wielding.
Wow.
He's dual wielding. He's double fisting.
Yeah.
The dude's gonna be big. He's gonna be beefy. And Hawkeye and Black Widow travel to Vormir. If you remember, Vormir is the place with the Red Skull.
Ice plate?
No. Vormir is the place with the Red Skull, where Thanos throws Gamora and sacrifices so that he can get the Soul Stone.
Okay.
Red Skull tells them that they need to make a sacrifice, so Black Widow sacrifices herself and dies, so that Hawkeye can get the stone. Okay, and then they also travel to Morag, where. If you remember, that's where the Guardians of the Galaxy went and got the Power Stone in that little ball, and they were fighting with that guy named Ronan also, and they got the Power Stone, and then he grabs it, and then they all hold hands and blah blah blah. So they're able to get the Power Stone, but Nebula goes back in time, and because she's synced up with her past self, Thanos has access to all her memories. So Thanos from the past is like, oh man, these guys are coming after me.
Wow.
So he sends himself and or he sends actually the past Nebula, who's still evil, forward in time to go after them. Okay?
That sounds crazy.
Right. So we're not done. We're not done yet.
Well, let me ask you this though before we continue on. Do you think there's going to be any other characters that are going to meet themselves, or would that break?
Oh yeah. Well, Captain America meets himself.
Okay.
I believe they get into a fight at one point because the old Captain America thinks that the new one is Loki. So they duke it out for a little bit. So there are a couple instances. I've seen spoilers all over the internet saying that's what happens.
But if they were to touch each other, that would like break.
Oh, that's whatever. That's like that. There are no science in these movies. Like science doesn't exist. Okay, so with all the Infinity Stones now collected, Hulk, who has he has like his own character development in this movie, so and we know this from a lot of the leaked toy material, where he becomes Professor Hulk. Professor Hulk is essentially the Hulk's body with Bruce Banner's mind. Okay, so he wields the Infinity Gauntlet, with all the stones, and he uses them to restore everyone back. So now everyone comes back.
Okay.
However, old Nebula is still chasing them, and she brings old Thanos from like years ago and his entire army to Earth in the present day, and they can't use the Infinity Stones anymore because Hulk's arm is like screwed and they can't use them, so it's essentially a big war.
Oh my god.
Okay, and Thanos attacks the Avengers compound. Okay, Steve Rogers, Thor, and Tony Stark, the original trio, they confront Thanos and they start fighting him, and at some point in this fight, Captain America picks up Mjolnir and uses it and starts beating the crap out of Thanos.
Way.
Thanos is able to overpower them though because there's no Infinity Stones involved, and he summons his entire army, the Black Order, which is like it doesn't say in here, but I'm assuming it means all those guys that they fought in the original movie.
Okay.
Like the mine guy, the guy who looks like Squidward. Yeah. So all those guys probably come back. And they just start decimating the planet. Like not only the Avengers compound, but like the planet. Like Thanos is like, whatever, we're just going ham. We're gonna do as much damage as we can. Present day Nebula, so the good Nebula, convinces the old version of Gamora, this is before she met the Guardians of the Galaxy, to turn on Thanos, and the two of them, because Gamora, it doesn't say whether or not Gamora who got brought back to life, but it does say that this Gamora is here.
Okay.
So, they kill the bad Nebula. Together. Okay. And after being restored, Doctor Strange transports all the other Avengers who have been restored, along with his fellow sorcerers and the armies of Asgard and Wakanda, all these armies, to the Avengers compound so that they can fight Thanos' army. Okay? During this battle, this is like the big part. This is the end, okay? During this battle, Stark retrieves and activates the Infinity Stones, disintegrating Thanos and his entire army, but sacrificing himself in the progress. So Tony Stark, Iron Man, sacrifices himself.
Do you see the chills on my arm, bro? Wow.
He dies. He dies. Wow. Following a funeral for Tony Stark, Thor appoints Valkyrie as the Queen of Asgard and joins the Guardians of the Galaxy. Captain Rogers.
Oh my God.
Hold on. Captain Rogers takes it upon himself to go back in time and return all the Infinity Stones, as well as Mjolnir, to their original places in time. But instead of coming back, and this is the ending of the movie, instead of coming back, he goes back in time and he marries that woman Peggy. And they're standing there waiting for him because he said he was going to be right back. And outside of the Avengers compound, or wherever they are, I guess, there's a bench, and they're sitting old Captain America. And he comes up and he gives the Falcon, the dude with the wings, he gives the Falcon his Captain America shield. And that is the end of the movie.
Oh my God.
How do you feel about
Just
that?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
That sounds good to me.
I mean, obviously we haven't seen the movie, so we haven't seen how heroic a lot of these actions are going to be portrayed. You can read it and it's like Black Widow sacrifices herself, Tony Stark dies, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But until you see it, you have to get that emotional reaction. And I think that it was kind of obvious.
It shows the power of film, really, is really what it does. I mean,
it's true.
You can read about something, but to really see and experience that storyline, you know, after 20 movies of experiencing every film that way, you're going to want to see the end that way, not in a book or whatever, but as opposed when you read something for, you know, a series, you're going to want to experience it in the form of writing. So it just shows the power of film, I'd say.
It's very true. I think it was obvious that one of the original three was going to probably die.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be Captain America. It wasn't. They decided to kill off Tony Stark, which was a shock to me. But it's also, you could see it coming.
Yeah.
You could see it coming.
Absolutely.
And I think it really plays into what a very, very important line that was heavily foreshadowed in this event from the original Avengers movie, where Captain America and Tony Stark get into a fight. And Captain America says, at the end of the day, you're not the person who's going to lay down the line and sacrifice yourself and make that play to save everyone else. And that's exactly what Iron Man does. And that, in and of itself, you could probably say that about Tony in the first movie up until the point where he launches the nuke through the wormhole. You know what I mean? Yeah. Up until that point, you could probably say that. But he makes that move, and you see his character evolving over time, and you see he actually ends up sacrificing himself for the entirety of the Avengers. I cannot wait to see this movie.
Yeah.
Even though this is spoiled, I'm glad that I did this, because I feel as though if I had seen that on screen, it would have been great as a surprise. But if I had gone in not knowing... Iron Man's one of my favorite characters. If I had gone in there not knowing that, I probably would have left a little... with a bad taste in my mouth. And that's me saying that before I've seen the movie. You know, obviously they're probably going to do it very, very well. They're going to do a great eulogy to Tony Stark. But at the end of the day, when I really think about it, I probably would have been... It would have been TMI. It would have been a data dump of information, a 3-hour film, and it ends with that, you know? Yeah. It's very sentimental, it's very sweet, I'm glad that everybody else came back to life. There's probably going to be a crap ton of jokes and just wonderful moments, and I cannot wait to see the entirety of the army duke it out.
I think I'd be happy either way seeing this film with or without spoilers. I mean, this is a series I've followed pretty religiously, but... yeah, I'm just excited to go out and see the film.
Yeah, me too.
For sure.
I think it's going to be a great movie. I think it's going to get a lot of great reviews. I think it's going to make a lot of money. But more importantly, I think the biggest disappointment for me is that Ant-Man didn't save the day. He had one job, go up Thanos' butt and expand, and he didn't do it. He didn't do it. What? Marvel, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you liked our video, go to our page, subscribe to our channel, go ahead and comment, ring the notification bell. Also, you can support us on Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Come back again next week. Thanks, guys.